You check your phone. The screen gleams. You admire a polished car or a sleek countertop. You linger a second too long on a diamond ring in a shop window. You don't even know why. We are drawn to shine, to sparkle. It feels good. It feels important. It feels somehow urgent. Ask anyone why gold is valuable. They'll say the same thing. It's rare. It's pretty. That's the story we tell ourselves. It's also completely wrong. Rubies are rarer than gold. Nobody starts wars over rubies. Diamonds get manufactured in labs now, chemically identical to the mined ones. Still, a lab diamond sells for a fraction of the price. Same sparkle. Different story. So rarity isn't the answer. Beauty isn't the answer either. Peacock feathers are beautiful. You can't pay rent with them. A sunset is beautiful. Nobody's melting it down into coins. There's a deeper reason. Buried so deep. It predates money, predates civilization itself, predates gold jewelry by tens of thousands of years. It's older than the wheel, older than agriculture, older than language, maybe. Today we dig it up. Imagine a world without cities, a world without laws, no electricity, no clean tap water, just vast, unforgiving wilderness, stretching endless in every direction. Every day was a fight for survival. Thirst was the immediate threat, the terrifying threat. You can survive weeks without food. You die in days without water. Picture an ancient human, parched and desperate, searching for life-giving water. What would catch their eye first? Not the color green, not the sound of birds. A shimmer in the distance, a reflection or a glint. Shine wasn't just pretty. It was information. It was survival. The promise of water. Life renewed. Researchers have confirmed this instinct in labs. Studies on thirst and vision, across 6 separate experiments. The result was always the same, a consistent preference for glossy surfaces over matte, dull ones. And it wasn't just aesthetic taste. Thirsty participants preferred gloss significantly more. Their primal need intensified the attraction, a direct, measurable link to survival. Even infants show this. Babies just 4 months old. Reach for glossy objects first. Mouth them, study them, prefer them. That's not a learned behavior. Babies haven't learned anything about status yet. It's an inborn human trait, wired in before memory even starts. Shiny meant potable water, refreshing and life-sustaining. Ancestors saw life in glints, reflections of a vital resource. Then, one day, someone found a rock that never stopped shimmering, even out of the water, even in the dry season. Gold entered the picture, a powerful mimic. It tapped an instinct millions of years old, triggered a sense of value, a connection to survival itself. When you see gold, remember, sparkle echoes an ancient cry, a memory buried in your DNA. Life-saving water, found at last. But water explains the attraction, it doesn't explain the empire. Gold is functionally useless. You can't eat it, can't build shelter from it, can't craft weapons from it. It's too soft to hold an edge, too heavy to carry far. So how did a useless metal become the most fought-over substance on Earth? To answer that, we need 3 things: a grave, a peacock, and an element that refuses to die. To the ancient Varna necropolis, near the Black Sea. Dating back 6,500 years, an era of profound change. The oldest processed gold treasure ever discovered on this planet. Grave 43 stood out from every other burial there. It belonged to a powerful, high-status male, likely a ruler or perhaps a revered priest. Inside, over 1.5 kilograms of pure gold gleamed, more gold than found globally from that entire period. Golden bangles, heavy and impractical, adorned his arms. A scepter signaling absolute authority lay beside him. Strikingly, a golden penis sheath, a bold, unmistakable display. This wasn't about utility, it was about status. Compare that to the graves around it. Most held nothing but bone and dust. A few held simple tools. Only grave 43 held a fortune. That contrast is the whole story. It marked the dawn of complex human societies, where wealth, not just survival, defined a person. And here's the part that should stop you. Varna wasn't unique. Thousands of years later and thousands of miles away, ancient Egyptians called gold the flesh of the gods. They mined it obsessively along the Nile. Ancient Chinese dynasties buried emperors in golden burial suits, sewn together with golden thread. The Inca isolated from Europe, Asia, and Africa entirely, called gold the sweat of the sun, and reserved it exclusively for royalty and temples. None of these civilizations ever met. No shared trade routes, no shared religion, no shared language. And yet every single one of them landed on the same idea. Shiny metal equals power. That's not a coincidence you can explain with culture. That's a coincidence you explain with biology. Something in the human brain, wired the same way in Peru as in Egypt, as on the shores of the Black Sea. So why gold specifically? Why not silver or copper or polished stone? Biology offers a compelling explanation. It's called costly signaling. Think of a peacock's magnificent, enormous tail. It's beautiful, but also a massive liability. Heavy, unwieldy. It makes escaping a predator dramatically harder. Dragging that much extra weight through the underbrush, and yet the most impressive tails attract the best mates. This is the handicap principle in action. An honest signal that cannot be easily faked. Only the strongest, healthiest peacock can afford that tail. A weak peacock with a huge tail simply gets eaten. So the tail itself becomes proof. Proof of genes. Proof of strength. A built-in lie detector worn on the body. Gold works the exact same way for early humans. In a survival context, gold is functionally useless. You can't hunt with it or build shelter with it. It provides no direct sustenance, no warmth. Its softness makes it useless for tools or weapons, and that uselessness was the entire point. Possessing gold signaled something profound. It signaled an abundance of excess resources. Only a person with immense power could afford it. They could literally waste resources on pure decoration, while everyone else was still worried about tomorrow's meal. This conspicuous waste flaunted their status. It was an undeniable public declaration of dominance, a social handicap demanding respect. It proved that individual commanded vast resources, far beyond what was needed for mere survival. The gleam of gold wasn't just pretty anymore, it broadcasted an individual's immense power. It screamed, "I am rich, I am powerful, I rule," a message understood by everyone in the tribe. No translator required, no shared language needed, just a glint, an instant universal understanding. This visual language instantly communicated hierarchy. Gold became the currency of social standing. It defined leaders, priests, and the elite, not because of its weight, because of its message. Your modern engagement ring works the exact same way. So does the gold watch nobody actually needs to tell time. So does the just landed post from an airport lounge. So does the gold chain, the gold grill, the gold rims. We call it flexing now. Ancient humans called it Tuesday. Same handicap, same signal, just a different century. Gold's story could stop there. A status symbol, end of chapter. But gold had one more trick up its sleeve. It doesn't rust. It doesn't tarnish. It doesn't decay. While bronze turned green with age, while iron crumbled slowly to dust, gold sat there, untouched by time itself, pulled from the ground looking exactly as it would in 1,000 years. A noble metal, chemically inert. It resists corrosion almost completely. It does not react with oxygen, resisting rust forever. Only a rare, ferocious acid called aqua regia can dissolve it. Nothing else on Earth touches it. Nearly 98% of all gold ever mined still exists today. Melted down, reshaped, worn by someone new. The same atoms passed hand to hand for thousands of years. The ring on your finger might contain atoms, once worn by a pharaoh, or buried with a Bronze Age king. To ancient people, this permanence looked like magic. Ancient Egyptians believed the gods themselves had skin of gold. That's why it lined their sarcophagi, not decoration. A permanent bridge to the divine. Because in a world where everything rots, everything rusts, everything you love eventually fades and disappears, gold simply refused to, and that refusal meant something enormous. It wasn't really about the metal. It was about the fear underneath it. The fear that nothing lasts, that nothing you build will outlive you, that you too will someday be dust. Gold became a small, wearable answer to mortality, a piece of forever you could hold in your hand. That's not superstition. That's the same reason we frame photographs, carve names into stone, name buildings after ourselves. Try in every era to build something that outlives us. Gold just got there first. And here's the strange twist in the story. We called gold useless for survival. For most of human history, that was true. You couldn't hunt with it, couldn't grow food with it. Too soft for a blade, too heavy for a tool, a beautiful, glorious burden. But modern science found a use for it after all. Almost every smartphone in the world contains gold, used for critical corrosion-proof electrical connections, a superior conductor that never degrades. Every computer, every circuit board relies on that stability. Think even bigger. The James Webb Space Telescope. Its massive mirrors are coated in a thin layer of gold to perfectly reflect infrared light from across the universe. Nothing else performs with that stability in the vacuum of space. Gold nanoparticles are now used to fight cancer, delivering targeted therapies directly to tumors. Gold shows up in COVID and pregnancy tests, in the fine gold wiring inside pacemakers. Dentists have used gold for over 2,000 years because it's non-toxic and gentle inside the human body. The very same properties that made it sacred to a Bronze Age priest. Are the properties keeping astronauts safe today? The uselessness was never really uselessness. It just took us 6,000 years to find the use. So this is an evolutionary hijack, a magnificent, almost accidental paradox. Gold bridges a biological need for water, our social need for status and hierarchy, our spiritual, very human fear of death. Three completely different systems in your brain, all lighting up at once for the same rock. You're not obsessed with gold because it's shiny. You're obsessed because some ancestor dying of thirst once mistook a glint on the horizon for salvation, and it saved them. You're not impressed by gold because it's rare. You're impressed because some ancestor, freezing and powerless, once looked at a man wearing the sun on his arms and understood instantly without a single word who was in charge. You're not moved by a gold ring because of tradition. You're moved because some ancestor watched everything else around them rot, watched people they loved disappear, and gold simply, stubbornly stayed. None of that ever left you. It didn't vanish with the Bronze Age, it just changed shape into a wedding ring, into a watch passed down from a grandfather, into a coin you've never even held sitting in a vault somewhere. You're not shallow for wanting gold. You're not shallow for wanting to be seen, to be safe, to be remembered. You're ancient. Every time gold catches your eye in a shop window. That's not vanity talking. That's 40,000 years of survival, still quietly running in the background. We didn't choose to love gold. We were evolutionarily primed to want its gleam, before precious metal even existed as a concept. Gold is a witness to our entire history. It remains. Reflecting light, reflecting us. This has been Whyzer, decoding ancient roots. Subscribe to unravel mysteries, like this video. Share your thoughts below, hit the notification bell. Don't miss our next journey. Until then, keep questioning everything. Stay curious.